Alright, so some updates on the Camaro. I haven't been making a lot of videos on it because it's making me want to pull my hair out. So I had some issues with the wiring in the fuel pump in the tank. I fixed all that. I've tried 60 pound, 80 pound, and 142 pound injectors. I was going to try a different regulator, but I don't know. Anyway, that regulator was either bad or that wiring just happened to act up right when I put the other regulator on. I couldn't get no fuel pressure out of it. But I'm losing fuel pressure still, no matter what. And be honest with you, I think it's this stock 3/8 inch line. So I have the stock lines coming up and they go into the fuel rail. That's a 5/8 inch 10AN fuel rail. And then it goes to the back. There's a 8AN that jumps over, then it comes back up this 10AN fuel rail, and then an 8AN back to the regulator, and then a 6AN out the bottom, stock line, to the stock line, and then through the E85 sensor, back to the stock 5/16 line. I accidentally crimped those when I was putting the alternator on. But yeah, that's another thing. So after the fuel pump fiasco, my alternator went out. So I had to put another alternator on. And I'm going to switch the alternator over there because I think it's just getting too much heat down here. Maybe that's why the other one went out. But after I put the alternator on, I kept blowing off this pipe. Apparently, this was too small. I bought it for the size of the throttle body itself. You don't do that. You have to, which some of them will list them by that size, but the best thing to do is to measure the size with the coupler on and then get the correct size. But to fix that, I just put a nut in a wash. The nut was bottoming out on the threads on this shaft, so I just put a washer and a nut there and tightened that up. So got that fixed. Then I went to go make a few pulls, and I guess when I put my alternator on, somehow, some way, I don't even know how it was even humanly possible, I put a hole in the oil feed line, put an alternator on. So now that's squirting oil everywhere. It ain't leaking bad, but I did a couple pulls on the highway and it got on the exhaust there and was smoking pretty bad. But I got it tuned good enough to make a few pulls, and the injector duty stock cycle is still way too high because the fuel pressure is dropping, and the only thing I can think of that's making that fuel pressure drop like that is the stock fuel lines. It's the only thing I can think of. Or I've got a leak somewhere that isn't visible because I've looked all over the lines and I don't see any spot where it could be leaking. I don't see any spot where it could be losing pressure. But we're just gonna put this surge tank in. That should eliminate the problem. And I'm gonna run 2 pumps, a 525 and a 450, 8AN, and then it's going to come into an 8AN to 10AN Y block, and then 10AN all the way up to the car with a 100 micron filter in there somewhere. And I'm just going to run 6AN from the stock tank to this, and then the return, and then the return from the motor is going to be an 8AN back to this, and that should eliminate that problem. But yeah, it's going to take a while to get all the parts in because I'm going to have about $200 just in fittings. And then the ethanol sensor. They make these ethanol sensors are 3/8 inch. These are quick connects 5/16 to 3/8 with a stock line. But they make a bypass for these. That way it'll be 3/8 and then another 6AN beside it with 8ANs on each end. And those are about $100. I'll have to have one of those. And then I'll have to take all the stock lines out and then run the other lines. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get all that ordered, so I don't think this one's gonna be able to make the race for the 21st or 22nd, because the parts I need for that one probably ain't gonna be here till Wednesday, so I'm gonna have to be messing with this one all week. And it has a little bit more blow by than I like. So later today I'm gonna do a compression test on it and see if there's a cylinder hurt. It's always had blow by because we got the rings pretty good, but it seems to have a little bit more than it should now. And the old dipstick keeps flying out of it, but then again, the old dipstick, it has a hard time staying in there by itself. I mean, yeah, see, you barely, whoops, I was off camera, wasn't I? You barely even tap it and it shoots right out. It doesn't stay in there very good. Like mine, when you push it in, it like kind of clips in. This one right here, I mean, it takes, you barely even push up on it and it pops out by itself. It'll shoot out by itself. So it doesn't take much pressure to push that out. And when you push that out, a little bit of oil comes out, not a lot, but enough to make some smoke. But going to do a compression check just to double check, make sure. This motor's probably this winter we're going to take it out and go back through it, put new bearings in it, and re-hone it and put some new rings in it. But yeah, where we're at on these, I lowered the front jets and that one. I'm making a video on that. We'll go over that. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna order a bunch of fittings and stuff. Hopefully they'll come in time. I can get everything on that one, get the oil feed line fixed, and maybe make the race. I don't know if I'll be able to get all that done, but definitely going to get this Trans Am done and make the race. Even if it's got a hurt cylinder or not, we're still going to send it. Y'all like and subscribe. Have a good one. Just wanted to give an update on that thing. I tell you what, them bigger injectors, they're more difficult to tune than the smaller ones, but I about got her licked on the tune side. But then when I fix that fuel pressure, I'm gonna have to retune it all over again because it's gonna be completely different. Anyway, I'll the good and bad and the mess ups I do and the stuff that works for me, all that, I'll put all that in the videos, but so y'all can learn from my mistakes. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about this turbo stuff. We're learning it and we're trying it, and we'll get it figured out. But if I ever say or do anything wrong, y'all hit the comments so I can correct it. But yeah, I'm no expert at this at all. So I can build motors and pretty knowledgeable on nitrous and timing for small block Chevy stuff. But this turbo stuff, it's completely different. This LS stuff, I'm still learning it. But yeah, y'all like and subscribe. Have a great day.